The best, the brightest, the smartest and the zippiest of all from the world of automobiles right here. Hello, you're watching yet another episode of Auto Today. Let's quickly tell you all the action we have packed in this week's edition. On the show this week, Audi's latest generation A4 and all its technology-packed goodness. Followed by the rather unconventional but fun GLE 450 AMG. And finally, we top it off with Suzuki's refreshed Gixxer and all that's new about it. Now, Audi A4 has always been the first choice for all those who want to taste a little bit of that German luxury without breaking the bank. Now, Yogendra Pratap was in Germany to try and figure out how good is the new Audi A4. And he also tells you what's hot about it and what's not.
The A4 will be one of the most important launches for Audi this year. I am here in Germany, in the southern part of Germany, going to try out this car which will go against the 3 Series and the new C-Class. This is an all-new generation A4 that they've made on the group's MQB platform, and consequently it is larger. It has the same front face that all Audis are now going to have in the future, and it is loaded with technology.
The design is not radically different from before, with Audi preferring to keep the sedan's understated looks. The front and rear of the car, which gets a new look with a lower and wider single-frame grille, new headlamps with serrated bottom edges and a wraparound hood. The rear is also sharp and characteristic Audi, with taillights featuring 48 LEDs in a unique 3D design. Overall, the car is slightly longer and a little wider. This of course also helps in aerodynamics of the car, which the Audi engineers claim is the lowest in its segment, with a coefficient of drag of 0.24. This, combined with a lighter body that is about 120 kg less than the outgoing model, ensures a car with good fuel efficiency and better handling.
I've been driving the new A4 on the streets or the country roads of southern Germany on the border with Austria. It's beautiful, though a cold, wet day, and the car, it feels really more mature, feels like a bigger car. Of course, it's moved to the new MQB platform, and it's more spacious than before. It is slightly bigger than before, and it's got all the technology and the driver assistance systems from the bigger cars, namely the Q7. So we have the virtual cockpit inside. You can look at the navigation here, or you can look at the navigation on the central display. There's all these assistance systems, including the traffic jam assist and the adaptive cruise control, which moderates speed according to the traffic and also according to the speed limits. It reads traffic signs, it reads speed limit signs, and accordingly will drive the car at various speeds. And also the A4 now has much nicer interiors. For example, this car has a suede trim on the door, the leather everywhere feels premium, and the car exudes quality that Audi has always been known for.
In India, the car will be available with the top-of-the-line 4-cylinder engines, the 2-litre TFSI and TDI. We drove the car with a 2-litre diesel engine. The engine was mated to a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox, and of course, the car was 4-wheel drive or quattro.
The last time the A4 felt so good was 8 years back when they just launched the new generation car. That time it was ahead of the competition, and now with this next gen car based on the MQB platform, the A4 is ready to take its place back at the top again. It may not look as dazzling as the C-Class, but it's loaded with a lot of technology and with a lot of driver assistance features. As well as the interiors are back to looking very, very premium. And that's what Audi has always been good at. If Audi manages to launch it with all these features and all this technology, then definitely they have a winner on their hands.
Now, ever since Mercedes got into this sports coupe game, many started wondering how effective is this going to be in the Indian context. Well, Simran Rastogi lays his hands on this beast to try and find out and answer certain basic questions. Will this car be able to satisfy that quintessential thirst of a rich, affluent Indian who wants to move around his family in fine luxury with a little bit of sports ruggedness?
According to the new, only slightly confusing Mercedes-Benz nomenclature, the entire SUV range will start with the letters GL, followed by the platform on which it's based, in this case the E-Class. This, however, is anything but straightforward. This is the GLE Coupe.
What is a coupe? By its very definition, it's a two-door with limited room. The Mercedes-Benz GLE 450 AMG is anything but that. I mean, look at it. It's an SUV, it's butch, it's brawny, but the roofline still curves down. Further adding to its list of compromises, the badge on the fender might say AMG, but it's not a full matte AMG engine. It's not one engine built by one man. Instead, it gets a almost run-of-the-mill 3-liter V6, which is twin-turbo, to give you 367 bhp and 520 Newton meters of torque. That means it can do this. While also being able to do this.
The thinking behind a petrol SUV, especially one like this with 2 turbochargers, is to make sure the fun doesn't stop when you get to bad roads. The GLE Coupe might not be the most handsome SUV, but it trades the typical upright stance for something more sinister. And it works. It looks menacing even standing still. From the massive 21-inch wheels to the bulging hood and rippling cut lines in the bodywork, the GLE Coupe screams power. In fact, it looks exactly the same as its bigger, more powerful sister, the full AMG model, the GLE 63 AMG Coupe. The only difference being that the quad exhaust cutouts only house 2 exhaust pipes on this one.
On the outside, the GLE 450 just grabs passers-by by their collars and says, "Look at me." On the inside, however, it's typical Mercedes old-world luxury. There's leather everywhere, and the plastics and materials used in the rest of the cabin is just top class. Everything just feels sumptuous and just premium. Of course, there's enough gizmos inside the car to keep you entertained for a lifetime. My favorite part is, of course, the driver mode select. Let's take a look at the other parts.
The GLE Coupe offers a high driving position. Driver and passenger seats are electrically adjustable every which way. The updated command interface accepts touch commands, which is useful when you're entering an address into the navigation. The sunroof is fully electric and offers the customary wind deflector. Even the boot is fully electric, though the exterior release button is hidden away. It offers 650 litres of space, expandable to 1720 litres with the seats down. You also get 4-zone climate control, with rear passengers getting their own controls and AC vents. Safety is paramount too, with a total of 6 airbags. The reverse camera offers a 360-degree view of the surroundings, which makes parking it easy and safe as well.
Coming to how the GLE 450 is to drive, I think it needs to be started with the drive modes because they play such an integral part in how the car drives, handles, sounds, rides, everything. So starting out in comfort mode, where it's basically like a big docile puppy. Like you can feel the power when you press down on the accelerator, but it doesn't sound guttural, it doesn't sound raw. It's basically something that can be fixed when you put it into Sport Plus. That turns all your systems up to 11. Your suspension gets stiffer, your steering weights up a little bit, the throttle response is sharper, and you get a beautiful series of pops and crackles on every upshift and when you're downshifting. It's just puts a smile on your face every time. The GLE has massive road presence. I mean, just by that regard alone, it should be worth a look over other SUVs. But let's face it, if you buy this car, you want something flashy and you want something that has a little bit of performance. And the GLE will deliver it in spades, especially in this trim. Now, you do have to keep reality in check a little bit while exploring the outer limits of its performance. But after all, let's remember that this is an SUV that thinks it's a coupe. Reality, it's not its best forte.
Mention the word Gixxer to a bike enthusiast and you'll have that man all weak in the knees. Well, that's what Gixxer does to a lot of these enthusiasts. But what you get in India can at best be called, what you see behind me, a baby Gixxer. It's not even 1/10 of what the original Gixxer used to be. Abik Das was able to have a little bit of share of the original fun because he test drove a Gixxer race edition.
The fast-paced world of motorsport is always in a constant hunt for new talent. And to facilitate that, Suzuki Motorcycles India started the Suzuki Gixxer Cup last year. A one-make series where young talents get a level playing field to test out their racing skills. And most importantly, get an entry into the exciting world of racing. We travelled all the way to Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu to get a feel of the adrenaline-pumping action directly from the venue that will host round 1 of the Gixxer Cup. The Kari Motor Speedway. This is the same bike as what you see on the road, the Suzuki Gixxer SF, but in race trim. So what Suzuki has done to prepare this bike for the racetrack are a few changes, like lowering the front end. The suspension remains the same. Both suspensions remain the same, in fact. But they've lowered the front end for a little more aggressiveness. You've got clip-on handlebars and you have rear set foot pegs here for increased lean angle, a hydroformed free flow exhaust, and this is a full system exhaust. On the track, the race modifications transforms the motorcycle's handling. The road-going Gixxer SF itself is a very able handling machine, but the 20 kilo lighter race bike tops it by quite a margin. The 20mm drop of the front end, along with the clip-on handlebars, make the Gixxer turn in much quicker. This makes quick change in direction and easy action. The raised foot pegs offer better clearance, allowing for increased lean angle and speed, while softer racing tyres provide oodles of grip around corners. Gearing has also been altered for higher top speeds. Since the series is designed to support budding racers, Suzuki Motorcycles has gone an extra step to offer an opportunity of a lifetime to this year's participants.
We're really happy to kickstart the second season of the Gixxer Cup from Curry Motor Speedway. This year we have a new addition to the Gixxer Cup. We have the Red Bull Rookie Cup Road to MotoGP. This category is for 13 to 17-year-old kids, which does not exist currently in India. So for us, the main motive is to develop young kids. Unless you start early, you're not going to reach the pinnacle.
5 rounds of action-packed races are scheduled for the Gixxer Cup this year. The races will span across circuits in Chennai, Coimbatore and the Buddha International Circuit in Great Noida. So head to your nearest track and show your support for the champions of tomorrow.
Now it's time for a quick roundup of all the action from the world of automobiles.
BMW has introduced the Rolls-Royce Vision Next 100. It aims to redefine the idea of automobile opulence and take luxury to a whole new dimension in the next 100 years. The cabin of the vehicle has been called a grand sanctuary and is a private retreat with a personal assistant called Elena. It will not only drive the vehicle but also fulfill passengers' every wish throughout the journey. The exterior comes with a clamshell canopy and coach doors which will allow the customer to simply stand up and exit the vehicle. The RR Vision Next 100 represents just one possible option for a unique, personal, customized Rolls-Royce. Mini has also introduced their own interpretation of how their cars will look in 100 years, where mobility solution from BMW surrounds the idea of complete customization for personal mobility. Mini fans of the future will be able to assess and tailor any Mini to their own personal preference, anywhere and at any time. The Mini will be available to everybody, picking up drivers autonomously from wherever they like. One can adjust the car's appearance, driving characteristics and connectivity to suit personal tastes. We already know that the Land Rover has their utility game going strong. Land Rover surprised spectators when a new Discovery Sport SUV was tow-hooked to 3 luxury train carriages weighing close to 108 tons in total and carried across 10 kilometers of the Rhine region in Switzerland. Even though the new Discovery has a certified towing capacity of 2.5 tons, the weight it managed to pull was more than 60 times the weight of the vehicle itself. Powered by Jaguar Land Rover's 180 bhp Ingenium diesel engine provides 430 Nm of torque. The vehicle also combined all the towing and traction electronic gizmos to pull the carriages.
That's it then in this week's edition of Auto Today. Please do write into us with your suggestions, with your feedback and criticism. Suggestions will be welcome, feedback will be appreciated, and we promise for all the criticism, we won't send goons to your house. News and updates continue right here on India Today.